More now on the trade war between the United States and Canada. Today, Canada struck back by slapping 50% tariffs on hundreds of U.S. products. That includes alcohol, wood, construction goods, and retail items. Let's go to David Eby, the Premier of British Columbia. So right up the top, want to get your reaction. On Truth Social yesterday, President Donald Trump wrote, Canada has been ripping off the United States, and he even says for years. How do you respond to that?
It's hard to respond to that, Reed. I think about the relationship between Canada and the United States as one lasting generations, where we both benefited. Canada sends a lot of energy to the United States. We buy a lot of stuff from the United States. We're the number one customer of many, many American states. All of the companies that sell things sell to Canadians. The idea that this has been one-sided or that one party's been ripping the other off is bizarre. And it's a relationship that's resulted in lower prices for Americans at a time of a cost of living crisis. So it's hard for me to understand where the president's coming from and why he's doing this.
You know, you support these retaliatory tariffs and say British Columbia is preparing to use every possible weapon to fight what you're calling an economic war. So what are you talking about there? How much worse could this trade war get? And do you think that Canada's relationship with the United States can be repaired? Is there a way forward?
Well, I'll speak frankly for an American audience. Our relationship is never going back to the way it was before. Canada has learned an important lesson from the president, and the president has said that America can't be trusted. And that's an unfortunate lesson for us to take. But as a result, as Canadians, we're saying, fine, we'll diversify our markets. We'll look to other places around the world. It's an important lesson for Canadians to take, and we're taking it seriously. But when a friend kicks you in the back, you don't turn around and buy $12 billion in fighter planes from them. As just one example of how we had planned to work together. And so, I don't know why the idea came about in the president's mind that Canada was public enemy number one to Americans, given that we have so many friends, relatives, and colleagues across the border. But it has, and Canada is responding accordingly. And the Prime Minister has my full support and my pledge that anything that British Columbia can do to support responding in kind to protect Canadian businesses and Canadian interests, British Columbia will be there.
You know, your province is one of many that started banning U.S. alcohol back in March of 2025. What would it take to lift that ban, or could this potentially become permanent? It sounds like your resolve is pretty firm and that they're steeling your spine.
Well, I mean, here's the reality. I didn't roll out of bed and say, let's stick it to Jack Daniels. This came after massive tariffs, now approaching 85% on Canadian wood products. So if you're trying to build a home in the United States with plywood, you want to replace your floor as part of a renovation with veneer, you're now facing new additional 50% tariffs. Those mean jobs for Canadians are certainly on the line, but it means affordable building products for Americans are on the line as well. And we said, well, you don't want our wood. You want to give preferable access to Europe and to Russia over Canadian wood, that's fine. We don't need your alcohol. And yes, we're settling in for the long haul here. The Prime Minister said today, and his ministers, we're in this for a long wait. We don't expect this to change quickly. We're prepared. We are resolved. And we're looking to other places.
David Eby, thank you for the conversation.
You bet. Thanks for having me.